Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so pleased to have you here. So, as you know, today we are having this event, conversations and stories. It's called Motherhood Stories, Momhood Stories. So, when I told someone that we are having this event, someone asked me that, is it a Mother's Day? Mother's Day to chala gaya na, to abhi kyun? And then I was just telling that motherhood is not something that it's limited to one day. Every day is a Mother's Day. Motherhood is for all the seasons and all the reasons, so we should be celebrating. And whether you are chromosomally or whether genetically blessed to be a mother or not, whether you have made the choice to be a mother or not, we all understand mothers, we are all born to mothers, unless somebody is a cyborg, so we'll leave at that. So here we are, we have with me, there are 4 amazing women. Obviously the topic is that momhood stories, so they are all mothers, but there is even more to their identity. They are multi-hyphenate personalities, so I'm going to introduce to all 4 of them, but before that, please tell your friends to join us and subscribe to this channel, and please stay till the end of this session, because it was written on our poster, and if you have not read the poster, you should know it's going to be no holds barred conversation. So it will be all fun things और वो unique thing और वो unique stories motherhood के जो आपको यहाँ पे सुनने को मिलेंगे. So please stay connected and be there. Alright, as I said, we have 4 amazing women with me, all multi-hyphenate personality. Each of them is a great talent. So I would like to introduce you to them. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming over today. And I'm starting with this is Amrita Ponche, correct? She is Amrita, as you know, as I said, obviously she's a mother to a 5-year-old son, but that we will talk later. Right now I want to say that she's an actor, a spoken word artist, and if you see her Insta feed, it's amazing. The kind of poems she writes and recites, I really cherish. It's beautiful. With me, Hira Mehta. Hira Mehta is a mother and a grandmother also now with 3 grandchildren. We'll talk about that later again. But Hira Mehta ji is very, she has had this longest corporate career, and she's a banker. She was a banker, an author, a podcaster. She interviews and she does lot of activities. I personally find Hira Mehta ji everywhere. There have been so many, so she is in true sense multi-hyphenate, because she does these amazing different things, and she straddles, and even at this age, please don't say that I'm saying that
proud of my age.
But she, the kind of feisty spirit that you see in her is amazing, and it's inspirational. Saloni said she is one of my very oldest friend, and I'm so happy to have her here. But Saloni is one of those people you must talk, because in terms of the personality, she is very vivacious, she is very friendly, and she will bring you out of your shell like that. That is what I have seen with you. But more than that, as I said, she has 2 daughters. As I said, we'll talk about them later. But right now, Saloni is doing these phenomenal things. She is a voiceover artist. She is also a consultant on her kids' app. And she's doing her marketing skills, and her thing is, I have always been very inspired from you for that.
Thank you. Thanks, Rita.
And we have Reena Patel. Reena has a very phenomenal journey. She has 2 kids, because now very grown up, and her story, I'm very excited. We are going to share that little later, her motherhood experience. But she is a businesswoman. She is a businesswoman and a storyteller, and she is also one of those people who want to do a lot of things. One of the things that she told me when we were talking for this show, I'm single but ready to mingle, and I like that so much. So that is the spirit of Reena Patel. And with this, we are all, please stay connected, as I said, and if you have some specific questions which you think we should take on, if you want to know some specific story which you think you want to take on, please mention in the comment box below, and please stay connected. Alright, the stage is set now. So अब बस पागलपंती करते हैं, वो नहीं कि मदरहुड ऐसे एकदम वो सीरियस नहीं, मदरहुड के साथ वो गॉड बन जाते हैं. You know, mother, you become a divine, you have to be this perfect, and which I don't believe in.
Need no template.
Nirupa Roy.
हाँ, मेरे पास माँ है.
The templates.
Yes, the templates, and it's you are expected to stick on to that, and if you are not, that people sometimes are not comfortable. So we are going to talk about this uncomfortable journeys that we have done and we have experienced. So as I said, I'm going to start with these stories of each of them. So I will start with Hiraji, you. So Hiraji, as I said, she has one son, daughter. Son is a pilot, stays abroad, and he is married. He has 3 children, so she has 3, and her daughter is single, and she stays with her. She's a teacher, right? So now, Hiraji, tell me, because you are from a different generation from, say, Saloni or me or Amrita. So how was it like? The whole experience, whatever comes to your mind, and how difficult and different it has been for you.
So actually, if I were to say how difficult or different it is, nothing is difficult or different. It is an individual journey which I experienced, and most of us women, we think that it's a different journey, but all of us go through these little milestones in our life. Everyone faces it. Like bringing up children is something that is expected, and we spend at least I spent my entire life bringing up my children, allowing them to dream. My son wanted to be a pilot. It was a very difficult decision for a middle class family to be able to do that. But I struggled through that. I insisted. My husband almost said, no, we can't afford it. We can't do it. I said, no, I will do it. And I did it, with the support of my family. And I gave my son his dream. So it's not very difficult to do it. But yes, I will say that I spent my entire working years just for my children's future and for their dreams. Because when we were children, our parents didn't leave us flats, and like today our children are more comfortable because they have a home to come to. We didn't have that luxury. I had to actually take loans to have a house, loans to have a car, loan to have a TV, and I struggled through my entire working years to repay those loans. And today I'm at a stage where I can say, fine, I'm done with it, and I can do what I want for myself. So that's the only difference. Today's children have it much more, I won't say easier, because they also have to struggle, but I will definitely say that they are one step a better generation than we experienced.
Maybe comfortable.
Yeah, in terms of comfort, or in terms of life skills even, and livelihood also, they have many more options than we had. Because in one sentence to end it, if I were to say, those hobbies today are careers. That's the difference that I have seen in my entire journey as a mom and as a woman also.
And raising a son and a daughter, was there any difference?
Not really, because I feel that siblings are going to fight. They are going to give you hell. All brothers and sisters, whether it's a brother and a brother, sister and a mother, or whatever it is, the children are going to give you hell because they are different human beings. The day we start putting a template on them that you are expected to behave like this and you are expected to behave like this, then the trouble starts. They don't realize it. It is we who put this pressure on them, whether it's a boy or a girl. We tend to do that as mothers because perhaps in my generation it was a well thought of, or it was a thought that the boys should be like this, the girls should be like this. Today, no. And I'm very happy to be experiencing this generation too.
That is so right. That is so right. I'm going to come back to you again with many more questions, but I'll go to Saloni now. Saloni, you are from a different time, you know. Hiraji did not have to tackle WhatsApp group.
Absolutely.
Which we have to.
Yes.
So how different now? And you have 2 daughters, you know. So how things are? You're like Suhani and
Anaya.
12. Suhani is 12 and Anaya is 8.
Yeah.
So if you can tell.
So it's actually very interesting. I mean, I really love the fact that she brought that very, very stark difference out. That today's kids are actually born with so much more, and hobbies. Like our hobbies are now their career options. So also I feel as a parent there is just so much that we are loaded with now in terms of whether it is social media or whether, like you said, the infamous school WhatsApp groups. There is just so much that you have to kind of sift through.
Correct.
Sometimes, that it actually exhausts you sometimes as a parent, and many times I find myself questioning my own decision making, right? Because every time you make a decision, you kind of you kind of think again, is this the right thing to do? And then somebody else on social media, some other doctor will come up on some live and say something, and there's so many stereotypes that we are still trying to break. And as a mother of 2 daughters, I try very hard to set a different standard for them, and try to tell them that as a girl there is no end to what you can do.
Correct.
But unfortunately there is a lot around us that they still pick up. whether it's the infamous pink, which now my kids have grown out of, luckily, whether it is, girls, and I was a homemaker for a very long time.
Yeah.
I was always a hands-on mom and a homemaker. So their early years were always, where they saw me being at home always and my husband going to work. Although that is not what it was before they came along, right? But they don't know the truth.
Correct.
They have never seen their mom as a career woman.
Correct.
So for them, when I broke out of that, which is when my daughter was about 6 or 7, that is when I made the conscious decision to get into voiceover training. And I said, that's it. Because every time I signed up for a workshop, fate had something else, and either I got pregnant or, some other life situation came my way that I was unable to do it. Finally, I said, now this is my time. I'm going to do it. So it was a bit of a battle to get my kids to, see this side of me. Because then I was fighting for my time. I was like, I can't attend to you right now. I have a recording to do. You keep yourself busy. I'll come back to you. But why? But why, mama? Why, mama? My younger one will still question. We had a lot of issues in the lockdown because kids were doing online education. I was doing recording. And my husband was doing work from home. But his meetings usually are more the serious kinds where he cannot step out. But my recording being flexible, I would hear a knock on the door. Mama, I'm hungry. Mama, are you done? So, there is that little juggling that we do as parents. And especially if you've not been a career woman before the kids are born and you do it while they are grown up, there is a lot more you need to juggle and multitask.
Correct. They cannot. They have
They have a standard. And it's always. But Mama, are you going to pay for it? Is Papa going to pay for it?
Oh my God!
Because now they also become aware that Mama also brings home money and Papa also brings home. So they know the bigger things Papa will take care of. The smaller, so shopping sprees and all. Mama, are you buying this for us, or is Papa buying this for us? So they become also very smart about like who to kind of butter up when they want something. So it's been a fun journey, and I have to say the lockdown, while it had its own limitations, it was very empowering for me as an artist and as a career maker. I really found my own space and carved my own niche, and I'm very proud of what I achieved in the past 3 years.
That is so nice. And so nice to glad to hear.
Ilka, if I may add to
Yes,
what she said in the lockdown, how this thing. I had already retired. I was already a retired person. I was doing a lot of freelance work. But when the lockdown hit, I actually felt like I was double retired, like suddenly the house had closed in on me and I felt that, okay, I'm retired, but now I'm again double retired because I can't step out and I can't do things. And that's when I found a way to, express myself through the interviews that I did on Instagram. And, I must add to her to say that for all us moms and even for the women, this lockdown has proved to be something which is very, it has broken all boundaries for the women themselves, and women have started to find themselves, and I think it was a beautiful period despite all the horrors and all the sadness around it. I still feel that this 2 years that we had behind us has brought out something in each one of us, all of us, and that I think is a real beautiful step.
Correct. So true.
Yeah. This lockdown has been very lucky for me, because I was living alone for nearly 8 years, and because of the lockdown, my son had this thing, work from home. So he came down over here, and then I was very happy.
Quality time with family was a byproduct.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, like, there have been people, like, that some people were not even, women were not zabardasti, they had to go on a maternity, like they could work, and like, but balance, can we have it all? Kind of.
Yeah.
But Saloni, you were saying something which I want to go to Amrita for that now. So we were talking about how career and how becoming career woman, which you chose of course you were always, but you kind of
long sabbatical.
Yeah. So now what I want, so we have always been said that children have to be at the center of your universe. You become a secondary citizen. You cannot think of your own happiness. And if you want to seek out your individual identity and okay, chalo thoda distance kara, unse thoda dur rahe, to some people will judge you.
Yes.
That you are not the perfect mother. Whereas it is not that, because if you love somebody, you would let them have their individual identity and their personal space. There is nothing wrong in that. If we can give to our children and husbands, then they can give it us too. Now, why I'm coming to Amrita, because Amrita has taken that decision.
Yes.
I'm sure I would go to ask that journey, that it must have been how difficult or how you took that, because Amrita's son and husband, I mean Amrita also originally live in US, so she has a 5.5-year-old son, Nimish, and to pursue her dreams and career, she straddles between 2 cities, 2 countries, 2 continents. So she lives here in Mumbai as well as in US. She keeps shifting and traveling back and forth. So I really would like to, was there somebody who, like, first tell me about your experience, and was there some point you heard that, oh, you are being selfish or something like that?
And so first I'll just say something about my story. And actually the lockdown itself was a catalyst. So I was working at a think tank then. I was writing about Mumbai public transportation. I've written a lot of research and papers on that. And then I moved to a very corporate job, like a very analytical job, which I was not so happy doing. And then during the lockdown, I realized that this is not, like, if I'm not being happy, and because of COVID, everyone had their, mortality antenna up. You don't know when your last breath will be. So I decided, why not do something that makes me happy every single day, and that something is acting. And poetry kind of happened on the way. So to act, I have to necessarily live in Mumbai, in India, where I have all my networks well established. So that's how I took the decision of being here. And my husband and my son live in the US. My son goes to school in the US. But not all of the people around me, especially my own family, are happy with that. And I have been told that, are you even sure you're a mom? Even that kind of a question I have been asked by someone who is very, very close to me. I'm really glad that my in-laws and my husband are so supportive of this choice that I'm making. But it's not going down
as easily
for every other people.
But also, let me add that becoming a grandmom hasn't gone down easy for me either. Because you see, when we women have finished our corporate journeys, or when we've reached the retirement age, it is purely the children expect that the parents will be there for them, for their children. But the world has changed. It's not that. I applaud all those people who love to look after their grandkids and live with them and look after them 24/7. But I had dreamt that I had, that after I made my son and fulfill his dream as a pilot, and my daughter is settled, then I would live my life. So at that time, when the expectations of looking after your children's children comes, there is always a little bit of a a bit of judgment, hard feelings. Many times my friends would tell me, why aren't you enjoying your grandchildren? Why aren't you with your grandchildren? I said, no, because I now want to do things that I want to do for myself. I love my family, I love my children. It's not that we women love and we will do our duties. But we need to realize that there is something beyond that the person that we are, that has to be given a chance, that has to be given an opportunity, and you should be able to look at that face in the mirror and it should smile back at you.
Yeah, exactly. So in my case, my husband, my son was with me for like the first 4 years of his life, and what had happened was, Akshay, my husband, is in the US, so he was very focused on his career. So even when we were living together, it was, the weekends would be, I have to play my cricket, he plays county cricket over there, and his set of friends, and so that connect with the child and him was not getting established, and that was also like kind of motivating my decision to stay, like make Nimish and Akshay stay together, and now they have like a very set routine. But the thing is, even when we are here now, Nimish is with me in his summer holidays, the expectation that he has is, I will listen to everything Baba says, but she is okay, she can be managed. If I do one, then everything will be, I'll have my way. So that's very interesting how kids also are responsible in shaping your motherhood.
But were you let down? Like, were you frustrated at some point when somebody, your friend or whoever told you like this, that how can you, are you sure you can be even a mother, like, because expected कि mothers मतलब selfless. वो
exactly.
It's not that we don't love our families, but we can always
No,
explore.
and I think often what happens, I think, Ulka, is that it's very conveniently put on us. You're a super mom, yeah. You can handle it, yeah. Saloni can do anything, yeah. She can manage everything.
Multitasking.
And I realized that,
multitask.
by being an independent woman, we take on more than we can chew.
that
And
is
very often I find myself so overwhelmed, and I'm like, it's either a damsel in distress or it's this fierce financially independent woman. Why can't we have the best of both?
Correct.
Why is it so hard to ask for help when you are crippling under the pressure? But that image of that, Devi Ma with those, that has become very, very popular now, right? Ek mein frying pan, ek mein headphone, ek mein bachcha, ek mein, jharu. And that lockdown image has just, it has just taken away more from giving us that credit. Ki, we can falter on the way and it's okay,
Yes.
And I do not want to wear the crown. I'm okay with passing it on,
So right.
Yeah.
So we have still not spoken to Reena, so I want to come back to these conversations because it's super fun and we are all resonating on that. But I want to go to Reena's journey because Reena's journey is very different from all the mothers out here. So Reena will say more, but Reena lost her husband, and then from then on she has been a single mother to her kids, and she raised her, took over the business. In fact, husbands, I would like, I rather listen that from Reena.
I was a fun-loving person. I still am, and I finished my commerce and law, and I got married. And my husband said, "You take care of the house. I'll take care of the money." I said, "Fine." For 18 years, it went on very well. And then one fine day, I waved my daughter goodbye. She went to college. I waved my son goodbye. He went to school. And I waved my husband goodbye. He had gone for work. 2 hours later, I'm looking at his dead body. Like, I was shattered, completely shattered. I said, how did this happen? It was very sudden. When you see a person living, saying bye and then going out, you naturally expect that person to come back. But this was like, oh, now where do I get the money from? What will I do? Why did he go away so fast? And this and that and that and that. Everything happened. 4 days later, I'm a commerce and a law graduate. 4 days later, I got a call saying, please send so and so chemical. And my husband had his own chemical business. So I said, okay, now what do I do? I knew nothing. I did not know where the telephone bill was paid. I did not know where the electricity bill was paid. But somehow I remembered, okay, my husband used to take chemicals from so and so person, and now it has to be given to so and so person. So I just connected and I managed that quite successfully. The fourth day this happened on the fourth day. And then I just decided, I always wanted to work. So I said, this is a golden opportunity, even in distress, even in heartache. But this is an opportunity that's given to me on a platter. So I said, I'll grab this opportunity, and I took care of the business. I was running the business for nearly 14 years, very successfully. I have earned my money, invested my money, and I'm very happy. Of course, the people for whom I was working also supported me a great deal. But on the journey, this happened. My husband died on 4th December 2006. Soon afterwards, my daughter was 16, and she came to me one day and she said, Mummy, I'm not going to become a doctor now. I said, why? We don't have money. See, my heart sank. 2 months later, my son was giving those competitive maths exams, and he came to me and he said, Mom, will you drop me? I said, fine. So I went and I dropped him. And everyone else, all the other students, had books in their hand. And this fellow did not have his book. And I said, where is your book? All those guys have those books in their hands. It is 100 rupees. Now we don't have money. That was a shock. So I actually took both the kids, I said, sit down. I said, we have money. Don't go into this mindset that we don't have money. And see, now I've taken over the business. So whatever money I am earning will be an added bonus. So then I decided, The first holiday then we had was out of India. Then I took them to a 5-star. I took them to Taj for dinner and Oberoi for dinner. And I just wanted them to feel, that there is abundance. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing less. And they decided to study. My daughter finished her MBBS. She's finished her ENT. And now she's a head and neck cancer surgeon.
Wow.
Yeah. My son, he finished his IIT. He was in 7th standard. He was just 12 years old. He had not even started teens. So he finished his IIT, then he finished his IM, now he's working for a multinational company.
Wow. That's an incredible
Incredible.
journey.
Really super.
So that was a huge achievement for me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, because I understand how. I mean, even despite all the fact that it was your husband's business but still there has been challenges. There must have been those
Yes.
moments
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you would have and to take over. Like what I really like, that okay, let them not feel like taking them to a 5-star.
Yeah.
मतलब जो हमारी जो capacity है, let them feel happy, cherished. Because otherwise, lot of times when the father is not there, like even some houses when the father, the male figure is not there, they make very simple food. मतलब the food is also made keeping designed, the menu is designed keeping the
Financial,
the guy
head of the
family.
कि वो है तो बाकी घर में नहीं है तो बच्चा को
खिचड़ी खा लो।
तो तुम कुछ भी खा लोगे चल जाएगा
Yeah,
but when the guy is around then you make so
Yeah.
to take that consciously that decision कि ऐसा नहीं है कि we are going to live a life of otherwise despite all the money people live that कि अब तो क्या in his absence we cannot live a happy lifetime.
Yeah, but
Right,
Ulka, let me
right.
add to this. When she says that she had to struggle to tell the children that we have enough and we can do it, I had to do the same thing when my son said he wanted to become a pilot, because it's no easy means for a middle class family to pay that kind of money and to do it. But I never let my son know that I had a money issue. That was between the closed doors between me and my husband, how we managed it, how we got those finances, how we took the loans, what people helped me with, and nothing. So today he's a pilot, but he doesn't know the struggle, that he's not just struggled. It is also the mother and the father who struggled to do it. And I would not like to take away from the fathers anything, because we mothers need this. I mean, as women, we need the support of our spouses. And we have to sometimes fight it out for our children. We'll do that, but we all go through this in our own very simple, small ways, which people don't realize, and nobody comes to your help. You have to realize that as a woman, you don't worry about what your mother-in-law is saying, or what your father-in-law is saying, or what your neighbor is saying, or what your cousin is saying. You have to realize you do the best what you can do within your limits and within your what you want to achieve. The moment you start thinking about the people around you, you'll never get anywhere. Never.
In fact, I was told, "Nahi, Samate, you have money, you sit down at home. You look after your kids. That's it. You don't have to work. Why do you need to work?" I said, "No, I am going to work." And my children saw me through that period, struggling, working, learning something new. I had a background in commerce and law, and this was chemicals. I had forgotten that H2O is water. I had forgotten that also. So to come over there, they saw me through that period, and now they really said, "Mom, you were really strong. You are still strong, and you have pulled us through." So they are very appreciative of the fact.
But they have to be. They have to be, Ulka. I'm not saying that my son is not appreciative of what I have done, or he's not aware, but it has not been a point of discussion or a point of unhappiness in the family.
Correct.
The moment you make it, like you beautifully put it, that you told your children that we have it, and took them out and showed them that you can enjoy life. It's like that. You have to be upfront with your the children, but not put them into that bichara mode, where we can't do this for you, or we can't do that for you, we can't afford this, we can't afford that.
No.
Don't. If you can't afford it, don't say. There are better ways of saying it and showing it.
Yes.
Then we women tend to become very emotional about everything. we have to learn to hold the emotion a little enough so that the person who we are talking to doesn't get emotionally scarred.
Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is that we as mothers are so much pushing our children today, study karo, ye karo, wo karo. She said WhatsApp groups and all that. I feel that it is the pressure of pleasing the parents or the end result that we bring home to our parents is more disturbing for the children than actually when they are in school. They are happier in school. We don't have to.
Actually, Hira ji, can I just say something? मैं
Sure.
another angle ला रही हूँ कि जो आप बोल रहे हैं the pressure. Actually, even moms have lot of pressure. You know, nowadays to be the best mom. Because you have so much communication channels going on.
Yeah.
ना, I would like
Yeah.
to talk to actually Saloni and Amrita. मैं Saloni का अगर सुहानी बोल दे तो please don't mind.
I'm used to it.
Because Saloni's daughter's name is Suhani, so मैं
Yeah.
जब भी उससे बात करूँ तो Suhan से
No, that's okay.
so anyway, I would like to talk about that Saloni and Amrita both
Yeah.
because this best
Yes.
mom, you know, I have heard मतलब मैं तो कभी ये नहीं बोलती मेरा तो अरे बाप रे इतना मतलब we cannot, we are not in a race.
It is
Yeah.
so tiring. In fact, I am getting so overwhelmed even looking at these Insta feeds of these perfect tiffin boxes. It's totally driving me mad because I don't know who these moms are who find the time to immaculately pack all these wonderful things and write beautiful notes. I can just about get myself up and and here they are packing exquisite shape cut. Not to take away from that. I mean, it takes a lot even for them to do that.
Yeah, I
I
understand what you're
appreciate
saying.
that. But it does add on. If
Yes.
you are not the mom who does that. In fact, I did that on my first one. I mean, I usually do that, but now the kids are all grown up. So on the first day of their school, I wrote, you know, you are the best, this,
Oh
that,
my
and all. I came when the kids came back. I said, you saw my note, and they both looked at me, rolled their eyes, and said, "Mom, please don't put these notes again." My younger one, you know what my younger one did? Anaya, she was so embarrassed. She crumpled it and she said, "I ate it up."
Oh my God.
I said, "Why did you eat it?" She said, "Because I didn't know what to do with it." I said, "I can't believe you did that." And I said, I asked the older one, Suhani, I said, "What did you do?" She said, "I folded and kept it away, but Mama, please, it's avoidable. Just it's fine." So I was like, okay, I'm off the hook. I don't have to write those notes anymore. They know they are loved, they know they are cared for, they know they are the best, and that's it. But yeah, the pressure
Oh my God,
is, you know, the Insta perfect moms doing the perfect things for their kids and raising them all well.
हाँ, मतलब
Mine
look
are
so
my
perfect.
parenting is still under work. It's work in progress. I fail some days miserably. I question my parenting skills a whole lot. I laugh at it. I cry with the kids sometimes. But it's a part of the journey.
You know those things that when they're nursery and all that, nowadays this Phalana day and Dhimka day and getting the costume and all that, and you sometimes forget.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
forget.
yeah.
And then you feel so guilty as if you have done some.
And you don't want to come back on that WhatsApp group. You're like,
But I can totally empathize with you all on this because my daughter is a teacher, so she teaches these little kids. So when she comes home and tells me these horror stories, I like to call them horror stories. I wonder whether I brought up my children right. Because you know those tiffin, as she said, those tiffin boxes, they have to be hung, and you know you have to have this, and tomorrow bring this, and they have to bring that. As a teacher also, so she when she shares what I call, I insist on calling horror stories for the children. It is very disturbing, you know, because as kids we never had. I mean, I'm of a different generation, probably, you know, a senior citizen now. So for me, all this is like, oh my God, does this really happen? Is this a real world? I mean, like, can I not just jump? Can I not just put myself? I mean, at this age, I ran into the rain and I got wet this first rain, and I literally told somebody take a reel because I'm so crazy. But my daughter, she stood there watching me for 5 minutes and I said, "Come on out, get wet. This is the rains, you know." And so the children today are not willing to. At least, I don't think all the children, but you know, there is that little bit of, you know, we have to
hesitance.
That, you know.
And this best, I'm telling you, it's so much pressure. Kids के ऊपर तो है, but moms के मतलब चलो बच्चे तो छोटे हैं, maybe they'll outgrow this. But what I remember that when my son was young and there was some orange day, like they have to learn the color. So we forgot. So he was the only one in blue or whatever. And everybody orange. Now that scared me. एक साथ तक orange देख नहीं सकते. I was still not remember that orange day. Not because he also, Mama, I was the only one wearing blue. And my younger son is bit like Anna, is bit judgmental.
Yeah.
So he's coming home and keeps on telling me, I told him it's not a big deal, yaar, क्या फर्क पड़ता orange?
But from where they are coming, it is a big deal.
It scared me.
So the two things that are coming up for me, like since I'm a writer, I keep attaching things to like words, getting attracted to words. So it's perfectionism and guilt.
Yes.
And
The
both
body
are
guilt.
like recipes for disaster. So I was planning to homeschool my child. So I called up like the best person, like she has an online presence and all, and I called her up. When he was 3 only, I called her up. कैसे उसको homeschool करना and all. And she was, Amruta, people are asking me for classes to homeschool their kids. And then she was like, that is not how it's done. So her kid was 12 or something at that time, and he was homeschooled a bit, and like he went to school, not regular school. But I was like so surprised that people wanted classes. And they wanted other like a tutor to homeschool their kids. That blew my mind on how much we attach importance or to status and trends. कि अभी trend है homeschooling का तो my kid should go to homeschool. So when I conceived and I shared this news to my sister, she's like, now you should register for his school. Now I don't even know the sex of the child, the gender or the whatever of the child, and how can I? No, now is the time to register. You have to register.
Oh my God, that pressure. We will talk about that next. I think that Amrita has.
The school thing is so. Then everyone was like, no, you have to send your kid to English medium school. And whenever people like start saying me, you should do this, that rebel in me rises up. And
That's
so
a good one.
my kids, like his father went to a Marathi medium school in Goregaon. I'm like, मेरा बच्चा तो मराठी medium school ही जाएगा. So now he has I took an admission for him there. So then unfortunately, because of my life circumstances, we had to go to the US and all that. So like we had to shift and start his schooling there. But he still goes to the Marathi medium school also.
अच्छा US में भी है?
नहीं यहाँ पे he's
He's
still
here.
going there because that's also like वो अलग issues है कि once he starts going to school in the US, he will come home with that English, that American accent and refuse to speak to us in Marathi. And we are like, ये घर के दीवारों को सिर्फ मराठी ही समझता है.
Right. That's very important.
The house doesn't understand English. You have to speak.
No, but that is a very good point because having an emphasis on the mother language.
It's very important.
And I think most of us now living in nuclear family ना वो रह जाता है. Very often, when you live in a joint family, you tend to learn other languages because grandparents don't know or don't speak in, English. But in nuclear family, this is a very nuclear family phenomenon.
One mother, I mean, I don't want to judge anybody, but I felt really sad for the grandparent because she's telling to the grandparent was saying ke hathi. So the mother said, no, teach him say elephant because the child has to learn. I feel really sad. That it's okay. I mean, let the child, because in fact when she was talking about Marathi, there is a Marathi very famous writer, Gyanpit Award winner Bhalchandra Nemade. He has said a very beautiful thing that the language is like a chopper. So when you are the other languages that foreign language and all that, you put them out. When you're going inside the house, you adopt your language.
True.
That is what you do.
And your own language is sweet.
Yes.
It's just very sweet. It comes out naturally. It comes out sweet.
But you can't blame the children. Let me be very
you
honest.
can't.
Because even I'm talking about when my kids were small, they used to go down to play. So when they go down to play, the language is, the general language was Hindi. And it was not even a proper Hindi. It was like
Bombaya
Hindi. So, in one way it's good that the child gets exposed to all languages. But when he comes home, he should at least be able to speak, not fumble with the mother tongue that you are, in the house. Which I think is a little lost in most of the homes today, as she said, in nuclear homes, because English is the language that is used in schools.
And also because of intercaste marriages. No?
Yeah.
Now my husband and I, we have between us only, I am Gujarati and Sindhi. He is UP and Punjabi. My kids are a total cultural mishmash, right? So, kaun si language sikhaye? Then that's the battle. Because and frankly, neither of us know any of them, barring Hindi being the universal language. So nuclear families come with its own set of unique problems, while language being one of them. But
Thankfully,
there are
my
others.
language, even though mine is an intercaste marriage, my language, both our languages are same.
Yeah, so that is why you got it covered.
Gujarati is a Parsi married too.
Gujarati was.
So it works.
That is one of the first.
Yeah, but that the saddest part is that I mean, to digress from it, when she said she was a voice artist, I remembered a very old incident that even I learned voicing, and I wanted to get into voicing, and my Parsi accent actually killed my dream of becoming a voiceover artist. You know, but yes.
Right. So I in fact I also wanted to talk about this school, choosing. So I think, I mean, I don't know how much pressure you had to choose the best school, or was it very difficult, Reena, Hiraji, when that
For
those
me,
days?
it wasn't difficult. What I also saw was the distance from the house
She's
to
right.
the school.
Exactly.
Correct. Even I
Yeah.
thought of that.
So there was a school, like, we live in Goregaon, and the school was in Pala, and it was one of the best schools. But it was, now it's going to be 1.5 hour to go, 1.5 hour to come back. I would rather have my children playing, than just commuting. So that distance was also one of the main factors.
No, but the pressure was not so much about good schools in my when my children were there. It was like 12th standard. Even today, I feel that the pressure we put on our children for the school. End of the day, they all have to do the SSC or the ISC or the Cambridge, and they all have to get percentage in that. Government exam. So why do we put so much pressure
And
on it?
actually, eventually in the life, nothing matters.
It's,
you know,
it's in
how
fact
you
nothing.
go.
In fact,
Yeah.
nothing. After you finish your graduation and you think about doing your college also, and then when you go to a corporate, a simple thing like I've seen the corporate world. It is very simple. You are starting at scratch.
Yeah.
Because you're all gold medalists, so you're all at the same level. So our children are actually struggling with this a lot. We have to understand that too.
Now, I want to say one more thing now here. We have this, so if you have any stories related, like we have, like in a movie like a mom, when Sridevi goes on a killing spree because her daughter is wronged and all that. So, but at least the one line, of course, we don't have those radical and those those kind of stories. Nobody has to live, we wish that. But the thing is, the one line is that mom will go to any extent. Now, my here thing is, there are those little things. I'm not saying those dramatic things, but these little things, कि बच्चे का homework नहीं हुआ तो रात को या तो आपने ही हैंडराइटिंग चेंज करके कर दिया or you went and did some or something else, I don't know, whatever, to some bizarre extent, or to buy some supply, or for exam उसका स्टेशन वो क्या बोलते हैं सेंटर बहुत दूर आया था तो आपने इतना ट्रैवल करा या whatever. So if you have any story like that, I mean, it will be very nice to hear.
I have one story, but something different from what you are. Like, we had been to Kerala, and the tsunami visited us, and we were right at the jetty. So me, my husband, and my daughter, we were a little bit away. My son was to board the boat with other co-passengers, so he had to board the boat, and I saw those waves, huge waves coming in. People are being sucked out, and then I was wondering what is happening to him. That boat which he was to board the boat, वो boat का तक कचरा हो गया. It just got completely smashed, and they had to run for their lives. This fellow was 10 years old, and he ran, and he ran, and he ran very fast, and he reached a safe place. I did not even know if he was, in what condition he was and whatever. Like, I could just pray. That is all I could do. And then I saw him and I was very happy. And then I hugged him. And then I said, he's like, Mom, I thought you would be very angry. So I said, why? My pants were getting wet. He had worn long pants, his pants were getting wet. He did not run for his life. He did not run for his life. He ran because his pants were getting wet. And his mama was cold. In the middle of all that, the innocence of a child.
Mama ने पहले yesterday my son son told me a story that by mistake there was another child having the similar bag, and so he removed that child's tiffin and ate it. That child must be somewhere. So he said, I ate. मुझे लगा आज आपने tiffin box बदल दिया है. He didn't realize he finished that child's tiffin. Then he was having water from there, and now he's thinking bottle में बदल दिया. And then the child came, and I'm like. And it was so funny at that moment, but that time पर हमारा इतना खाना waste हो रहा है, इतना सुबह से उठ के बनाया.
I know.
The other child had to leave, so that child said, "It's okay, I'm not eating." Then he had some work, so anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, पर हमारा इतना सुबह waste हुआ ना, सब बिगड़ जाएगा. Now we have to throw. Later on, I was laughing. That one story, but I am, you know how we put the pant now.
That's what getting better.
Yeah. No, also one more point that I thought of while we were talking about this is that the difference between raising your first child and your second child.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And the kind of mothers we become in between those two journeys, you know. I've always been with my older one, I was trying to be very perfect. I was trying to be the mom, you know, the definition of mom. And
I remember.
You remember? I'm
and
sure.
my God,
Yeah.
you were-
I was always very particular कि सुहानी का ऐसे होना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए. By the time I reached Anaya, I realized it's not worth it. I'm not having any fun on the way. Just let it be. So where I used to, you know, look for recipes and make stuff for Suhani, Anaya के लिए रोटी में दाल डुबो के खा लो. It's okay. With Suhani, it was never okay. ये रिजेक्ट किया, भागो भागो भागो, दूसरा बनाओ, ये डालो, वो डालो, इसमें ड्राई फ्रूट पाउडर डालो, ये वो. So with Anaya, I learned very differently.
To become a
and I
chill
learned,
mother.
and I also learned that if you want to be perfect, don't expect your child to be perfect. That's very unfair,
Correct,
right?
correct.
That's your battle. Don't pass it on for your child to take over,
Correct,
right?
yes.
So the same point happened with when Anaya, she's very creative. She loves her, you know, her art and craft. She has a lot of pride in what she creates. It might be very shabby to others, but we find it also beautifully done. And you know, so at home we always encourage that nahi banao acha acha. But you know, this judgment of you know, adults on artwork, if you're not the parent, can be very cruel sometimes.
Correct.
Yes.
So you know, whether it's art competitions in school or DIY in school, वो बच्चे ने तो बना लिया. For her, it is the best. पर उसको प्राइज नहीं मिला, right? So as a parent, then what do? You know, when she comes back home and she shows you that, and you genuinely think it's really lovely, but then when you go back on the school page and you see the prize winners and you realize that they have conformed to what is expected under the guidelines of that contest,
Correct.
your child may not have.
Correct.
You know, so I as a parent have always felt that while we tell our kids so many things about, you know, their self-worth, that you are the best, you are this, often that bubble bursts for them when they go out there.
Yes.
And then as a parent, what do? I still try to find these answers. I still try to say, nahi beta, aapka acha tha. But as they grow older, you can't you can't sugarcoat things for them anymore.
You should not, in fact.
Yeah,
You should
yeah.
not, because
Yeah.
even I'm a very creative person. I'm a complete recycle craft madcap, and so my friends know that, and I used to make gifts for my entire team in Diwali, and before Diwali it used to be on the tables and all recycled
Yeah,
craft.
we just saw.
So I love doing that, and my daughter also has this creative. So she sits and cuts paper the whole day sitting at home. Abhi to is because her job hasn't really started back again, because the children are not coming to school, the school there where she is teaching, and we are waiting for that. And she says very patiently, I'm going to wait. So I said okay, because it's okay. Sometimes you have to allow them their decisions. You can't push and say now go look for a job, look for this nothing. So she sits and cuts paper, and she makes the most untidy stuff. And I look at it and I say, Jharna, this is not nice. Throw it away. So, you have to be cruel to be kind. You can't all the time say, this is beautiful, this is wonderful. You don't have to be,
Overly critical
like maybe sometimes I am, but she's an adult now.
Yeah, she can deal with it.
But if a kid is not really making an object that's really, perfect or something, you need to sugarcoat it, but not sugarcoat it to such an extent that he feels so confident about any shabby thing that he does.
Overconfident.
You know? Yeah, overconfident because he'll never improve.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
when the world, as she says, when somebody outside in the world slaps you, then it becomes a little difficult for you to overcome that, because
deal with that failure.
yeah, because all along you've been
Correct.
sugar, you know, okay, ठीक है, बहुत अच्छा है, अरे, you know, but you have to point out, see, इसने की, देखो ये किया, यहाँ पे अगर color add करते थे तो, you know, some guidance, some way you push.
Bandish Bandits, in fact, they had a very nice scene regarding that how the protagonist, one of the girl characters,
Yes,
so
very
her-
nice,
yeah,
yes, I see
so
that.
parents, so father is always like, you've done the best, and her mother has been telling her earlier that, you know, and now the girl realizes that I was not that good as my father put me on that pedestal.
Right.
But so that culture
That's a reality
shock
check.
that came
Yeah.
from out,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so she gets upset that
Right.
you told
Yeah,
me.
because she may just think that she's most like, if I keep telling my daughter that wow, you're so beautiful, and she may just think that I'll make this a career and I'll have everybody should like it. And I will say, oh my god, you know, how am I going to, you know, what can I do? Okay, she does beautiful, you know, she makes beautiful torans. I appreciate that. But this cutting of these paper craft, this origami, so what do we want to do with it? My question is, please go ahead, enjoy. Enjoy yourself to create it, but don't expect me to stick that flower on every gift that I give, you know, because I don't like it.
That is another interesting thing. Where do you keep that art
Exactly.
and craft? Oh my god! Every piece of work has some meaning to the child. And then, you know, like, and I have been a villain many times because we moved places.
हाँ,
तो अभी रखे किधर तो फेंक दिया. पर अचानक से कोई question आएगा, Mama, you know, I had made that. Remember that thing, that scarecrow with that hair over there? Where did you keep it? What do you say?
Oh my god.
So my mom gave me a very good idea. She said, "सब रख मत, photo ले ले, उसका एक बना ले, Google Drive." So you can always tell her and show it to her, but you know, like the volume that it requires to say.
Correct.
And I did that with my older one. Every little squiggle was kept. Every little, you know, school का जो भी किया था art and craft, even Anaya's I kept to a certain extent. But being second time mom, I have been very ruthless, and you know, I realized ये तो, you know, it's not worth the, you know, preserving every little piece of paper that is.
Thank God you're not my mom, because my cover is full of all kachra only.
No,
from
my
leaves
mom
to
has still
flowers.
kept. My mom has still kept my bills, you know, of things that, you know, like when I got my first period. You know, the bill of the first time she bought my sanitary napkin. My first bra. I'm not joking. My mom is a keeper, and it is so beautiful. She has files for both my sister and me where all our milestones are still there.
Oh my god.
Wow.
No, but
You
that's
know?
a beautiful thought. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a writer myself, like she is a writer, I'm also a writer. In one of my chapters in the book, I have said memories making is very important. How you do it is, I mean,
Yeah.
the way you decide to do it is not, telling the family story or keeping the memories alive is because when you grow up and when you sift through it, so many memories come. It's like your Facebook and your Instagram page where you
Yeah.
put up all.
Yeah.
Now people keep asking me, "Arey, you meet people like I met you all today." Definitely, this photo is going up on my Instagram because I'm that kind of person who wants to make a memory. People will ask why. हर के इंसान के साथ तुमको मैं सेल्फी चाहिए, but I wanted not because I want to show
Yeah.
you that I met X,
You
Y,
want to
Z.
look back at it.
I want to look back at it and I want to remember that particular incident, that beautiful time I spent with so much,
Yeah.
so and so, so and so. It's the same with our children.
Yeah.
I think we should keep a few. I have a
Yes.
few uske bad a few bad reports of my son and a few bad reports of my daughter. I've not kept all the ones, 90% and 50%. There are ones with red lines. So I do take it out sometimes and say, okay, look, this is the fact.
No, but that's an interesting point. The other day we were sitting and discussing report cards, and I've never been the 80%, 90%. Growing up, my mom, I have to say, was also a single parent. I lost my dad when I was very young. So this journey that you spoke about resonates with me a lot. So growing up, I was the second born, so I was always very carefree. I was given that liberty to explore my own, world. And अभी बच्चों को तो पढ़ाना है, we are expecting great things from them. My husband is the intelligent one and always top notch and all with his marks. So the kids one day ask him, Mama, you've never failed in any subject. You've always done well. And now what do you tell them? I have red marks in my report cards, So very gently I've told them, I have not done it, that's why I want you to do, do nicely. And beyond the point, I have nothing to teach them in school. I mean, 4th
Yes.
grade was the tops.
Yeah,
उसके बाद भगवान जाने, गूगल जाने.
Yes.
मुझे मत आके पूछो. और ये IGCSE का तो मुझे समझ में तो आता नहीं आधे चीजें, because it's all application based.
Yeah.
So that is what, and Suhani has luckily found her way very well in the
Okay.
system. So she doesn't come to me anymore. I left her when she was in the 5th standard. I said, Beta, this is it. Our journey ends here. No more studying together. I can guide you, but I cannot sit with you because I don't understand half of it
Correct.
myself.
Correct.
So I've been quite happy to admit to my kids कि I don't know. तो मुझे आके मैथ्स का पूछोगे फंडा, मुझे नहीं मालूम यार. I never learned maths well in school. What will I teach you? So I'm okay with outsourcing that part of parenting. Again, to break the myth here, I'm not a great cook either.
I want to go to come to that.
So the emphasis that is given to cooking and motherhood is just annoys me. मेरी तो रोटी भी ठीक से नहीं बनती है. There are things I make very well. Not to say that I don't know cooking. I can survive. दाल चावल सब्जी बना लेती हूँ, but roti, parathas, not my forte. I've just about learned perfect dosas thanks to living to Chennai for 3 years. But I find sometimes when moms exchange recipes, I am not interested. मुझे नहीं पता करना आपने दम आलू कैसे बनाया, आपने पनीर कैसे बनाया. All conversations, अब तो स्विगी है, अब तो होम शेफ है. Luckily a lot of mothers have taken over, and we also order, and I promote that. It's a beautiful.
Correct,
I mean,
correct.
अगर हम लोग नहीं बना सकते तो we can give the kids the same thing made in somebody else's home.
Correct.
So I encouraged my older one to cook. It was my strategy. Lockdown, when Suhani said, "Mama, can I try this?" हाँ, चलो. What do you need? चलो ingredients लेके. I'll sauce out whatever you want. बेटा बना. तो सुहानी ने मशरूम रिसोटो बनाया, दम आलू बिरयानी बनाई. This is at the age of 10 and 11. She has explored her culinary skills. I have never made a biryani in my life. I have never made. But my daughter has made dum aloo biryani, paneer makhani biryani, and it makes me so proud. कि and this is what I feel कि बच्चों को
you
let
let
them.
them be. Yeah, you let them be.
I used to get scared कि गैस के सामने जाएगी, and then a lot of my they used to think कि isn't she too young to be cooking? But she's safe, she's managing beautifully, and she's self-sufficient now.
Absolutely.
आगे जाके करेगी कि नहीं पता नहीं. When it comes to that situation, we don't know. But right now, I feel happy that as a parent, I have given her that space.
Actually, since you brought this up, I also want to ask, there is this, like she was talking about that people are worried कि भाई कर पाएगी या, she'll be safe. So there is this thing, being a worrier.
Yeah.
That's another thing when she was saying कि ये दो words. इसके साथ एक और है कि we worry.
We
That
worry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many things that do worry.
Yeah.
So if you can share some stories.
I'll share.
Yeah.
I'll share. My daughter is very happily married, and she's got a wonderful husband, and I'm very happy with her in-laws also. Whatever said and done, my son is to be married now. Now my son is an amazing guy, amazing person, but he's absent-minded, totally absent-minded. So I tell him, Jimit, एक glass पानी लाओ जे. So he's sitting over here, then he'll get up, he'll go there, and he's forgotten. So can you imagine, for me, I'm worrying now, what will happen when he gets married? If something like this happens, will his wife understand that, oh, he just forgets? He's not doing this deliberately.
My daughter is like that.
He's not doing this deliberately. So I've already made a plan. Now when he gets engaged, one fine day I'm just going to get his fiancée over here and tell her everything. That listen, this is his a little bit shortcoming, if you may put it as a shortcoming. It is not. It is just a quality. But believe me, he's a very compassionate, caring person. You just have to overlook this part of it, that he forgets. He's absent-minded. He's genuinely absent-minded. Especially when you fight. मेरे लिए एक glass पानी लेके आया, and he's gone there and he's forgotten.
Don't worry about it, because my daughter is equally absent-minded. Yeah. She's so absent-minded that if there are 5 things to be taken to the kitchen, she will pick one and go there, again come back for the second, again come. I said, why are you doing this? एक साथ सब लेके जाना kitchen में. No, don't confuse me. Don't confuse me. Arey, what is there to get confused in taking 3 things together and taking it into the kitchen? So it's not a shortcoming. I think some of the children,
It's a
they're just-
personality
it's just a
trait.
personality
It's
trait.
just a quality that they have.
Namrata had something to
So
say.
I am neurodivergent. I have attention deficit
Oh, you do?
hyperactivity
Okay.
disorder, and I got diagnosed only 2 years back.
Are you serious? You lived all your life not knowing you had ADHD.
Exactly.
Oh, so
Very
what children have
nice.
lived, in our time children have lived through that, what is that?
Dyslexia.
Yeah,
Dyslexia.
dyslexia.
Never caught,
Never
never known,
diagnosed,
never
yeah.
diagnosed.
So luckily I got diagnosed, and then the interesting part was sharing it with Nimish, my 5-year-old. How will I tell him that sometimes mama forgets? It's not me being a bad mama, or me being,
A bad person.
a
It's
bad
just
person.
that you forget.
It's just that this is a trait that I
Yeah.
have. So I told him that I'm a squirrel. How squirrels will take nuts from the trees and then they dig and they put them in the soil. So I also keep forgetting ideas or keep forgetting things, and then like some day later I will come across them. Like if I'm writing something down, I'll come across them. Then I will remember. Oh, this is
Yeah.
what happened. So I told him that I'm a squirrel, but then he took it very nicely, and like working with him on this was also like an interesting thing. And so we were also talking about how to explain to kids certain things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
So-
important.
So he is a very rambunctious kid. He's very energetic, and he gets into a lot of messes, scrapes, all those things. So we have a code for it. So we have to take risks, because without taking risks we don't learn anything in life. But are those risks safe or are those risks unsafe? So this is something that I came up with when I was teaching him safety and how to keep himself from falling, or sometimes falling is okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that is something that also, like adults, like for us, it is. I realized that it was important for even me to absorb into my own life. Sometimes kids teach us so many
Yeah.
things that
Oh, yeah.
we just
Absolutely. That
Yes.
is true.
I learn a lot from my children.
Yeah.
And I somehow feel that they're very mature. They are more compassionate and caring than what I am. Seriously. And they know what they want, both of them. They also know what they don't want. And I'm just happy as a mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, because the generations are this generation. Every generation evolves, and there are some things that they leave behind which are improved upon by the next generation. They are, I think, they are able to do much more than we ever did.
Yeah.
And in fact, thanks to them, I'm doing so much more now.
More. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wrong to say that, that they are not responsible
No, they are very
citizens
responsible.
or human beings. They care for the members of the society, they care for the members of the family. They do.
But in their own way.
In
At their own time. Which is
yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Because they
But they
don't-
do. And they genuinely care. It's not that ऊपर से कुछ कर दिया, which maybe some of us so-called adult human beings do.
But as parents,
They do care.
But
They do
don't
care.
you think that we feel as parents sometimes we feel that our children should be looking after us, caring after us. They should be doing this for us. They should be doing that for us. Thankfully, I just don't believe in that. I believe that I've made my life, and if I'm today doing what I want to do for myself, so do they have a right.
Correct.
And I don't
Yeah,
want them to
definitely.
feel that they have to all the time pick up a phone on their mom to say, are you okay? Are you this thing? Do you need something? I'd rather have a relationship which says that when I need something, I'll pick up a phone on you to tell you, do this for me.
Yeah.
Then you keep on asking me 365 days, I sit waiting for my son to ask me, Mama, are you okay? Is everything okay? Are you able to manage? Do you need something?
Yeah.
So, there are, when we grow older, the dependency on our children
Yeah.
should not be that much. At
It
least for
shouldn't
this
become a
new-
liability.
Yeah, not for this generation anymore. Our generation, yes, we were all the time worrying about our, we were all the time watching. Now it's not the time to watch. It's time to be patient and accept, in a different, fun, better way.
My daughter is in Cochin. She's the surgeon over there. So there are times when I miss her and she hasn't called me and anything. So I'll call her up and say, oh, I just wanted you to know that I'm still alive. So she'll go on, हाँ चलो अभी ड्रामा चालू हो गया.
I use the WhatsApp for that. I make it a point that every day or every 2 days I just write a message, hope you're doing well, hope all is well, do you need anything? बस छोड़ दो. घरे घरे फोन उठा के, I have not seen my grandchildren for ages, please let me see my grandchildren on WhatsApp because they are abroad. I can't, because the time factor also matters. It's not like they don't want to, the children don't want to show me my grandchildren, but they are working when I'm sleeping, or I'm sleeping when they are working, or the children are out playing. So you can't hold these things and become unhappy as a mother or as a parent. You have to understand.
There's, we have been it's been so nice. We have actually spent 1 hour.
My goodness.
It doesn't feel like that. This is the fun of all the girl gang here and just chatting around. So, but I will still like to take 10 minutes more and just ask some fun questions, and so we can just anybody. So and then from that, if anybody can think of any pointers, please tell, because I think jo mota jo aisa serious things we have covered a lot. So honey, Saloni, sorry, you can tell me the perks of having a child. So I've said कि एक तो ये कि so इसमें से आपको ज़्यादा क्या लगता है यार, whatever, or you can say 2 thrice whatever. So some pointers which came to my mind, I've just jotted it down, that you don't have to socialize with people with whom you don't want to.
Absolutely.
You have a child too as an excuse. There will be chocolates in your fridge almost always. With other mummy, also you will, if you are one of those who are an extra outgoing person, you get gal pals easily, because other mummies are there, and you can relive your childhood. So these are the things that comes to my mind. If you would like to add, or you think this was a more beneficial, this was a bigger
No,
part.
I think this point about your own girl gang is a very good point, because I have made some wonderful mom friends who started off as friends just because it was a convenient arrangement for a play date. But we have gone on to grow together, to share the same joys, sorrows, milestones together. And just recently we had a farewell for one of the kids who was leaving for Bangalore, and we did a then and now picture of the kids, and it just kind of told the story in those 2 pictures. Little 3 bald heads and now those 3 teenagers all awkward, with their own sense of style and their own sense of dressing, in their own personalities, and it just made me realize that where did the time go? We used to fuss about these little ones not eating their food, to now a different set of worries as a parent. That is one thing that I think I've enjoyed being a parent and having a kid.
Like mine is because I'm more of an introvert. So for me, the fact that you don't have to socialize when you don't want to, that was a very big perk.
So I did that a lot. I did that a lot.
Like suddenly you are one of those super moms. Like suddenly
I got to cover this. I have to go.
Excuse me, ye wo having chicken out of the.
So I did that a lot when I was nursing.
I know. Sometimes I sit 10 minutes extra.
I used to do that. I need to go and feed the baby. Excuse me, nice meeting you all. Leave my husband with a set of people who I don't want to socialize. You organize the dinner, you do everything, and then hote so jao, and then nobody will say anything. She went to sleep, it's okay. And then quietly sleep.
I was doing everything.
On the phone, doing your own stuff. So that's another one. It's a good excuse.
If you have somebody else have something to add.
Of course, the chocolate thing is obvious.
The chocolate thing is obvious for me now also. In the sense whether my children are there or not, the chocolate has to be there.
Reminder also for myself.
I love.
Sometimes I ask my kids, do you want doesn't? It's a more question for myself. And they said, we don't want. We had yesterday. No, beta, I have. Sometimes it's I'm like, I'm using them. Then I'm calling for an ice cream for them. But the question has come, and they are
it's
like,
for me.
so these things, sometimes we don't want. I said, how can you be children if you don't want ice cream?
What kind of a kid doesn't want ice cream?
For me, it is, I have learned like being the child again, but also, so I'm learning rock climbing, bouldering, and कोई पूछता है, I'm like, no, I want to train Nimish, and that is why I'm learning that. But for me, it is a very unique experience and a very amazing sport that I've gotten myself into.
But you should. There is something. Every woman should have something to do. And I always believe that even in my corporate years when I was working, And I used to believe that hobbies were very important.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, hobbies have become, but I used to say hobbies are very important because that is what sustains you after you retire.
Yeah,
You may
true.
work or not work, but what you've done
Yeah.
as you've continued to do as hobbies will always sustain you for the rest of your life. So keep hobbies as a part of your life
Absolutely.
always. Is what I believe.
Yes.
Just one more question, if maybe Amrita, we can start with you. Just this is just I think, and then after that we'll start wrapping up. That thing that you hated because with children के साथ जो एक आता है ना baggage, उसमें जो चीजें हैं, एक तो attending और planning a birthday party, then watching kids content all the times, like you don't have, so you're only listening to rhymes and this and that, not having me time, the entire concept of personal, and having the messy house all the times, and also that communication, like we just talking about WhatsApp groups and so school ka ye falana ye. So which one is the thing which you have kind of hated the most, or you have found the most difficult?
Oh, planning birthday party. Very clear. In fact, having a messy house is like a pro. No, it is a because my kid is there ना बच्चा है तो
और वैसे justification
नहीं वो I didn't fold the clothes. No, anyways he takes them out again. But birthday parties ऐसा भी हुआ है कि I have planned everything, and then I have planned even for the return gifts for a long time, and then I forget giving the return gift. ये भी होता है मेरे साथ. So very easy answer for me there.
Yeah. And you have something to add, Reena?
I think messy house, because I'm one of those people, who want to keep everything. Okay, this has to be here, then it has to be here.
Oh my God.
It cannot be that side. And everything is in a mess. Even today, with a daughter married and a son who is to be married, they still keep the house messy, and then I'm behind them. Please keep it in the right place. Please keep it. It's going to be useful to you. If
My mom is a cleanliness freak. So we have just put something here. 1 second, like ऐसे she is super वहाँ चला गया वापस. अरे हम बुक पढ़ने को लाए थे. It just went. So I don't know, just joke कि my mom अगर उनका बस चलता तो हमको सबको पीछे वो झाड़ू वो पोछा बांध के जिधर जाओ बोला हमारे साफ करते जाओ. Because हम लोग इतने irritated. So now when my children go, so like as a grandmother she has to deal with it. She doesn't like it.
And it's fun, right? Watching a cringe.
But I started making lists. As she said, no, you can't remember what's in which cupboard. So every cupboard has got a list pasted inside that. But this is here, this is here.
I do that too. Yeah.
Because I find it that everything is so spread out in the house. Like something is here, something is there. याद नहीं आता है कहाँ रखा था कैसे रखा. I know. So it's. She says a place for everything, it has to be there. But if you remember the place, you have to remember where you put it.
And if you have a list, then even if there are
Yes.
multiple people in the house,
They can find it.
They can find it. They can keep it back.
Even the concept of personal space and
Oh,
me
yeah.
time.
Oh my God, that's very important.
So
Me time
with
is very
children,
important.
like really especially when they are young, that thing. And even like personally, even I felt that even watching kids content, and sometimes you don't want to watch the same cartoon.
Even the
animated movie.
conversation, you sometimes find yourself lost in a conversation with a room full of adults who may not be moms.
Yeah.
You don't know what to talk. You're like, acha, ye bhi hai, acha, this is the trend, acha, ye. So that I struggled with that for a very long time when I got back into workspace and things like that. Go for sessions with people who are not even married sometimes,
Yes.
right? So to find common topics, luckily, me being an extrovert, it's easy, to find. But it can be quite challenging as a mom. Suddenly to come into, a space without any moms.
Yeah.
Correct.
Becomes a challenge because those common issues no longer exist. These people talk about politics, current affairs, iska ye uska. So as a mom, I think there used to be days when my husband used to come from work and I used to be like, I'm so done.
Yeah.
I can't deal with one more nursery rhyme. I can't deal with
My God,
one more. It used to be really stressful, and I used to literally tell him, I have nothing to talk to people like who are not moms, like I feel so lost and disconnected. So that is the real side of momhood sometimes, you get so overwhelmed with kids all the time that to find your own confidence as a person that you were takes some time. Again. And I think that's why it's so important to have girlfriends who may not be moms.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
because
but there's a upside.
they actually get you back to yourself and
Correct.
you find your groove
I
again.
personally find I connect with people who are.
So I have a set
Not
of
my
friends.
age.
Yeah,
I connect with people who are not my age, and I
Yeah.
can tell a funny incident.
Yeah.
Is that in my bank I have this very dear friend of mine who's scaling heights. I adore her, and she took me home to meet her mom, who is my age. And I said, "Auntie, how are you? How are you doing?" And I went, "Auntie with her." And after I went home, I realized, this stupid woman, you are an auntie, same age as her. And you're calling her auntie, and from that day onwards, she has now become, of course, her name. But that is what happens to me these days, because and anybody who calls me an auntie better not be around. But it's okay. Some of them still call me auntie. But I genuinely bond with the younger crowd. So sometimes it's this kind of a thing, when you meet a mom or you see, and you go auntie or you.
Yeah, but we all become aunties eventually once we have a child.
Why do you
As
think
much as we get offended by it, you feel you don't look like an auntie, but it is the truth. And now I've stopped even resisting. Take
Yes,
follow
yes,
auntie.
yes.
It's fine.
Because auntie, behenji,
Yeah.
bhai saab, these are the
Yeah.
normal
The ways
things
of
that
addressing.
in our normal life.
Bhai Saab and Ben, and that is okay. Auntie? Well, I told my daughter, now everyone calls me auntie, My daughter is saying, hi, time.
Yeah.
So I taught my children to a lot of our colleagues, my husband's colleagues and my colleagues, so who were like, say, younger to me, and so I told them not to call them uncle, auntie or
Yeah,
anything,
first
call them
name.
by their names. So somebody found it a bit offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My children are not
Yeah.
calling them
Yeah.
bhaiya, uncle, auntie. I said no, I told them
Yeah.
because I feel that is better.
Yeah.
एक तो कोई ऐसा जबरदस्ती का रिश्ता क्यों बनाने का?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's what I say, that my friends are just tons of years younger than me. I can't bond with women sitting on the bench and discussing menus or what. I'm completely out. I'm a very social person, so I can't call you Hira. So then if you can't call me Hira, then add the G to it. So I have become like Hira G for everybody. I think that's going to be my screen name also.
I have not heard always as Hiraji for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard, but मैं आपको हमेशा हीराजी
Yeah,
कहती हूँ.
everybody practically calls me, Hiraji now. Of course, a few have loving names like Hirama, which I really love, and so these kind of names come. But there are very few who will say auntie, and those are the few who will on the Facebook write, "Thank you, Hira auntie, for your lovely words." Fair enough. I love it. I love that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we accept that.
That's the
We accept
right.
that.
So I think we'll now kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
If you have any last words or any famous last words as this, if you have something to add, please say. Otherwise, then we'll start wrapping up.
It was wonderful to
I
be
know.
here.
Lovely
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
Lovely conversation.
But the one thing we've not discussed in all of this is co-parenting and the husband and the father's role in all
Yes,
of this,
yes,
which
yes.
probably would
That's
be
another
session.
I think you should have an episode 2 with us. I think.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of times, we don't
Acknowledge.
either we run them down or we overcompensate and we say, oh, he's such a hands-on dad, and they win brownie points for doing very basic stuff, or then we criticize them.
Yeah.
But I also, in all honesty, I feel that in this parenting journey, whether it's on your own or whether with a partner, I think it's very important to make mistakes
Yeah.
on the
Yes,
journey,
yeah,
on
of
the
course,
way.
of course.
I don't think we need to strive to be perfect parents or perfect moms, but
No,
and it's
no
okay,
awards to be
and
taken.
it's
And
okay
also
for our
argue.
kids to see those mistakes.
Yes, to see you argue also
Yes, and to
fight
see them
also.
argue. So that's why I feel that we can't live these picture perfect
No,
family
you can't.
postcards where everybody is perfect and prim and proper. In fact, to get a decent picture is a challenge these days. That apart.
No, that is so
So, yeah.
true. And at the same time, what you said about co-parenting is also true. Like I mean, for the lack of better word, I'm saying support system.
Yeah,
But
support
yes,
system.
support
Yes,
system. It's
yes.
very phenomenal. Whether even sometimes your maid, sometimes
Yes,
also
yes. It takes a
as-
village.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes. So it's not that we are undermining that thing today because we had to, because ये तो क्या endless है.
Yeah.
It's like you can go on and on and on, but at some point we have to end because we don't want our people who are watching us कि भाई हमको बंद करना है और आप लोग बंद ही नहीं हो रहे हैं. So it's better, communication skills में होता है ना, that how to speak, what to speak, but last and most important, when to stop. We have done
And
that.
women can never stop. Why? We have endless topics.
मैं इसलिए कई बार ना बैठती नहीं हूँ कन्वर्सेशन करने के लिए, इसलिए नहीं कि मुझे बैठना नहीं होता, मुझे लगा मैं बैठेंगे ना तो मैं
खत्म नहीं होगा।
so I'm like remain standing so I know कि 5 मिनट 10 मिनट घर में आउट टाइम so अब तक बैठे हैं फुर्सत से, जब मिले 5 यार हम बातें में निकले. So I'm so glad and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was lovely.
And thank you all of you. And this session is going to be live on Story Circus YouTube channel. तो please आप बाद में भी देख सकते हैं, और किसी को अगर आपको मजा आया तो please tell your friends. आप लोग भी please share
Yes,
करिए. Let
yes,
other people
sure.
see
Thank you
this.
so much. Yeah.
And just stay connected, subscribe to our channel since you are here, और please connect रहिए. Anything else also if you can think of, please comment में डालते रहिए. Once again, thank you so much. So Reena Patel, Saloni Seth, Hira Mehta and Amrita Pongse, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
It
Thank
was our
you. It was
pleasure.
lovely.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.
You all, you were fun.
Thank you.